show you some Chinese beautiful women from 1981 that are not communist. They are from Hong Kong. Now, what happened to our hairstyles is the Rachel hairdo. Now I found out, I was watching Jesus Christ Superstar, and, you know, his hair didn't look that bad the whole movie, but in this scene here, there you go. This is your modern hairstyle since the 90s. Since the Rachel and the Friends is that they patterned it after Jesus Christ Superstar in the screaming scene of, you know, like that, with your hair, his hair was all shredded and in his face. It was everywhere. Okay, that's exactly what the hairstyle they gave you was, the Jesus Christ Superstar in the thing. Okay, and so here we go with some proper hairstyles that we grew up with. And here you're gonna have a look, and look at the clothing. Look at the clothing. Look at the clothing. And these are, I like this part where they're showing some contemporary clothing, you know, modeled after American fashions. Look at those fantastic shoes, Sears catalogs, and all of our fashions. And the hairstyles were based on, there's no shredding of your hair here. And you should see the variations. Now I picked this, especially these beauty pageants, because you can see, here's just an example of a one color of hair, one texture, and how many variations you can get. And the great thing is that it doesn't, none of them have to touch their hair. They don't have to tuck it behind their ears. It looks good from the front, the side, and the back. And you're, you know, you've got also the barrette, and we didn't have gel for our hair in those days. You just had to have a really nice haircut, a good blow dryer, and good health. Your hair should be cut to the point where it's shiny, and look at how good it looks from the front, side, and the back. How she can walk with that, and yet look at the fashions are a combination of the 20s, the 30s, the color block. There's a color block of the 30s, Art Deco, Beaux-Arts, you know, Art Nouveau. That was the 1980s or the late 70s. What gave us the best fashions. Now we've already gone through the bad haircuts when we were young. We already made that, but this is called a mature woman who's still only about 20 years old, but in those days, a 20-year-old was a mature woman. Now, I don't know what the hell's going on. So, why can't we have this back? Why did we fall down some sort of a chute of hell? Why can't we have these maturity? Now, this is in Hong Kong. These are women who had all the freedom in the world, who grew up in the most capitalist city in the world. This is 1981 Hong Kong, okay? The communist Chinese had been pouring in since they didn't have the one-child policy in America, but I guess Pierre Trudeau enforced it on China, along with the Fabian Society. So we're going to have some pretty bad karma. Now remember, these Chinese people are the Cantonese speaking. These people are the ones that are the Bruce Lee people. The ones that the Mandarins are jealous of. They are probably, I mean, like, wouldn't you be crazy if you were treated so poorly by the world? And the world, you know, they had their own problems, but no one came to China's rescue. But Britain had their hand in Hong Kong and betrayed them in 1997. But because Britain was there, they were able to exploit the situation of the communist, you know, mainland, just a short distance away, to get their servant class all this time. But in the meantime, people made the best of it because we had the music. We had the TV shows, we had all the great shows in those days. And we had a lot of care and attention paid to the way we dressed, the way we looked, and also even we didn't have any of the garbage that we had today. We didn't have the shredded hair. I mean, I was just watching some guy on TV talking about how the disco was at war with, it was because of the punk. No, it wasn't. But you watch any TV thing, and they're trying to tell you about the decades prior, and these people are who? They're not qualified to talk about anything. They just happen to be ugly, which is why they're allowed to be on TV, because that's a prerequisite now. You have to be very ugly and unhealthy so that people feel better when they look at you. That's the culture that we're living in, which is very narcissistic. They only feel good about themselves when they can poke holes at you. That's called narcissism. Whereas a healthy person, a normal, humble person, would actually likes it when everybody's thriving, because practically you are safer when everybody is healthy and beautiful. You are safer. It's the opposite that they're trying to push. Now, let me just continue with this beautiful fashion show. And I mean, I hope you're grokking the hairstyles. How many have we seen already? Do you see any like shredding or texturing or even highlights in the hair? I don't see none of that. She looks good coming and going. They all have a figure. What happened? What happened? Do you know how it's not easy to cut hair, you know? I get it. It's not easy at all. You have to be almost some sort of geometrical planetary scientist to understand the curvature of the head and the growth of the hair. Understood. But guess what? It wasn't even expensive back in those days. Nowadays, people are spending hundreds and hundreds to try to look good, and they come out of a salon looking like garbage, and yet they feel like, oh, I better think that I look good because I feel crazy now. I don't feel good. I'm not walking good. I'm not moving good. I'm gaining weight. I'm bloating because I'm traumatized because I'm supposed to look good, and they don't. They don't look good anymore, period. Look at these haircuts. Look at these haircuts with actual precision and skill. You don't need to texturize it. You don't need to go, cut it, like pinpoint, how they yank the hair out. In these days, we were told never do that. Never, always cut the hair when tenderly with extremely sharp scissors. You don't go around like pulling it and shredding it like that. Then, no wonder everybody's got to iron it out. Otherwise, it looks like some kind of a hag in the morning. Like, no wonder why people can't stand themselves anymore. It's really a travesty, isn't it? And let me tell you about the clothing as well. The hair the clothing suits the hair, and the hair suits the clothing. If we have some really cool thing with extended or puffy shoulders, that looks really sharp. But you've got to have the hair to balance it. You can't have a pinhead with long hair and with hair down to your breasts, just like stopping your neck from moving. And then you can't even move or shake your head. This is like the longest hair that's on this thing, and it's nowhere near her tits. It's not twirled to her tits. She's not fingering her hair. Like I said, you have enough time for bad haircuts when you're a kid, but when you get older, you have a responsibility to look good. You have a responsibility to have a dignified look about you. Why was this all lost? And look at how shiny the back of her hair was, because it's cut in such a way that is lost technology. They have actually thrown it out. They swept it away like the four old things. The communists have swept away everything beautiful. And the Navajo knows that the only way that life can be is the beauty way. We have to travel the beauty road. Beauty or nothing. Nature is beautiful. You can't deny it. So if you lost your beauty, you've lost your connection to nature, you've lost your connection to actually health and life itself. Now look at how easy they're moving. She's got the figure of just like any kind of a movie you'd see in the 40s, in the diner, Linda Darnell's. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. The body is the same as in the 30s and 20s. And then in the 50s it bloated out, and then in the 60s they got sloppy, and in the 70s. But here we're tightened it up again. 1981, everything's gotten back tight because they have we've hit a renaissance because Mao died in 76. From 76 to 86 there was a little golden period. East and West, now remember, and then of course when they have golden periods then they have to fuck it up by putting a Tiananmen Square, by taking down the pictures of Marx, Engels, and 2 other Jewish guys, and putting up photos of 4 Asian guys. So the students had hope, and then a massacre happened. And then of course the British still handed Hong Kong over in 97, which was actually all because of the incipient, is that the right word? Real estate value in Vancouver after Expo 86, when they thought, well, there's no way we're not going to go through with taking China off their bikes. And you know what, let's just keep them in line. We'll keep them with the one-child policy, but we'll give them some cash. But then, don't worry about it. We got it all under control. Meanwhile, they're throwing up commercials up to the world, doubling down with the Derricos when you got these Americans with like 19 kids and counting. Meanwhile, in China, you're only allowed 1 fucking child. Everything else has to get aborted and get put into skin cream. Is that what's going on? What the fuck is going on here? Who's in charge of it? I was told that it was the Fabians. And the Committee of 300, all these fucking societies that, you watch any movie, even Red Dawn, the first part of the movie, the guy, all he can talk about is how many people there are in China. Well, guess what? I'd rather have people that look like this than the doubling down with the Derricos. How's that? I'd rather have people that look like this having, 4 or 5 children, rather than, what is it? All these people on these sick movies of people like 600 pounds in America, or having 5 kids, and they're all daughtered out. They got so many gazillion daughters, and the father's a freak. Come on, you don't know what kind of a hell realm we're living in right now, or do you? And how come I'm the only one even addressing it? But I'm dressing it in the context of clothes and hair, which is what a woman should be. I should be, busy just worrying about my clothes and hair. I shouldn't have to be worrying about fucking global politics. Should I? But here we are. I have to do it. Look at this hair. Wait. Look at the fashions. Look at the basic overall health, man. Well, this is going to be a long one, but I wanted to show you the beauty of hair and styles like that's beautiful. That's like like an old photo Art Deco. Joan Crawford had a dress like that. I have a photo of that. But I love the fashions, and like I said, your hair has got to have some body to it. Natural body, not like you're not sitting there like twirling it around an iron. Like they even invented new irons for the new garbage hair that's supposed to look like Sigmund the sea monster with seaweed hair. So I'm only going to do this part where it's the gowns, because it's just thrilling. Because I remember kind of looking like that in 1981. I was a preteen or a teenager, but I already had an idea of what the ideal was. Great hair. Cantonese speaking, Chinese, and Hong Kong. Very progressive, very modern. This is how it should be. Good night, world.